when the Long March happened and General Musharraf was ousted from power. So these are clearly chaotic scenes. These are dramatic scenes. You can see sloganeering in the National Assembly. There were reports of General Bajwa, the Chief of Army Staff, being sacked just moments ago. That's been unconfirmed now. But the point is that Imran Khan is such an unexpected politician. He's somebody that we cannot predict. We cannot predict what his moves are. We couldn't predict last Sunday when he went ahead and dissolved the House, and we can't predict what he's likely to do today. The fact is that he is making this into a completely ugly fight. The fact is that he doesn't have the numbers on his side, and he knows that. He knows that the numbers are not on his side. What he's playing at is what they call in the United States filibustering. He's basically stalling any attempt to vote out his government on the floor of the National Assembly. Unfortunately, those things are not coming to pass. The final gamble that he's taking is to try and oust the Chief of Army Staff. That again, like I said, those were reports in the Pakistani media up until about half an hour ago. Now, Pakistani media too itself is resigning from those reports. But Imran Khan's calculation, his game is absolutely clear. He is not just going down, but he's bringing the house down. If he has to go down, he's burning down the house. That is exactly how he's positioning himself. His best bet has always been elections. Go back to the people, let the people decide. But unfortunately for him, that big setback that came from the Supreme Court a couple of days ago, ruling his actions as unconstitutional. Those are the pictures. Imran Khan's convoy reaching the National Assembly. We will be live through the night here on CNN News 18. This is, like I said, the night of long knives in Pakistan, and we'll have it covered right here on CNN News 18. Quick break. We'll see you in 2 minutes right on the other side. Don't go anywhere.
Pakistan Prime Minister Imran Khan is expected in the National Assembly in a few minutes from now. What is he going to do next really is anybody's guess even as we speak. Omar Altaf, senior Pakistani journalist, Vishnu Prakash, former diplomat, Lieutenant Colonel Atul Holkar, defense expert, and Tariq Farhadi, senior journalist from Geneva, all joining us on the show. Vishnu Prakash, I'm coming to you right now. This situation is still playing out. We actually cannot confidently say what is going to happen next. All institutions seem to be on high alert. Islamabad seems to be on high alert, even as we expect Imran Khan to come. Now, of course, all of us have been talking about what Imran Khan should do, but we don't know what he will do. And if the last update was anything to go by, he's saying he's going to fight till the end, till the very last minute. What does that mean, you think?
I think I'm sticking my neck out here, but I think that the time for Mr. Imran Khan is up. It's only the world knows, everybody knows, only he does not know. And that is very much in keeping with his bluster and his personality. But once he is demits office or is removed from office, things may happen in a fashion that he may be quite surprised. If Pakistani history is to be gone by, it's quite it is possible. It is not, I'm saying not plausible, may not happen. But overnight things may change. For example, cases may be slapped against him. He could be put under house arrest, and the power can slip from under his feet so fast that he will not know, because power gravitates. People gravitate towards a rising sun, not a setting sun, and there have been many cases where people with autocratic tendencies like Mr. Imran Khan has one fine morning found that they had overplayed their hand, but by that time it is too late.
Omar Altaf, any updates you're getting on when Imran Khan is expected in Parliament, in the National Assembly?
This time, what I know is that the judges have reached the Supreme Court, Court judges, and they would be meeting at 12 midnight and seeing why wasn't the no confidence motion voted upon. And then things could move at a very fast pace once the clock strikes midnight. And Imran Khan is expected at the parliament, but as things are, you simply just cannot predict what's going to happen the next minute. Right now, there's a lot of flurry of activity where Islamabad High Court also being petitioned at this hour, seeking a restraining order.
Welcome back. We are live here on CNN News 18 for these extraordinary scenes that are coming in from Pakistan. The top 5 developments as of right now in the chaos that is reigning across Parliament as well as the streets. Imran Khan has reached the Parliament. He's inside his chamber ahead of the trust vote. The Speaker, Asad Kaisar, has also reached the National Assembly building. The Pakistan Prime Minister is defiant. He says there's no question of giving up. He's just met journalists moments before arriving at the National Assembly. The Pakistan Chief Justice has reached the Supreme Court. There have been unconfirmed reports that Imran Khan has sacked the Army Chief, General Qamar Javed Bajwa, but that has been rescinded now by the Prime Minister's office. The opposition is adamant that the voting has to happen. Remember, this is entirely about the NCM, the no confidence motion. They are saying that they will not leave till the voting happens, and the voting has to happen, at least the process has to begin by midnight tonight. Heavy security has been deployed outside the Parliament building. We're getting the latest breaking news from the Pakistan Assembly. The Speaker, Asad Kaisar, has reached the National Assembly building. Let's go to that breaking news. And we're getting convoys reaching the Parliament building as well. There is a police van, a van in which they take jailed criminals out. That has also reached the National Assembly building. Let's get you those pictures. Those pictures are now firing live here on CNN News 18. The Pakistan Assembly Speaker has reached the Parliament. When journalists asked him a moment ago, are you going to have the no confidence motion, the vote begin on the no confidence motion? Look at that. That's Asad Kaisar, the man who is in the hot seat. The man, that is the man. That's the Deputy Speaker. This is the Speaker. He's walking into the National Assembly. He has to take this vote of no confidence that the opposition has moved. Asad Kaisar has an unenviable task on his hand. And the reason why things have come to such a pass is because Imran Khan, the Prime Minister of Pakistan, has refused to play ball. He has refused to read the writing on the wall, and that is, the numbers are not with him. The opposition has the numbers. He knows it, and that's the reason why this entire drama is playing itself out right from 11 o'clock in the morning. So for the last 12 hours plus now, we are seeing this drama play out in the National Assembly and outside. Moed Jafri is joining us live. Moed is our correspondent, CNN News 18, reporting from Islamabad right now. Moed, what's happening? Because the scenes are absolutely chaotic. Asad Kaisar was asked a moment ago, are you going to have the no confidence motion? And he replied, abusing journalists who asked him that question. What is the latest? What is going on in Pakistan right now?
Well, there is no straight answer to the question what is going on in Pakistan right now, because there is so much going on. There are unconfirmed reports, there are confirmed reports. Our sources told us that Imran Khan had actually gone ahead and even signed the denotification of the army chief. The army chief had decided to sit this one out. Imran Khan had worked himself into a corner, saying he will not resign in the face of the fact that he does not have the numbers in the National Assembly anymore. He is now looking for a situation where he can push this entire process to a point where Imran has to be taken down legally, either by the court or by the military, which the military has resisted to do all throughout this current fiasco. What we're hearing right now are reports of a prison van outside the Parliament, another one outside the PM House. We're hearing that the Islamabad High Court and the Supreme Court of Pakistan have been activated in case that denotification is made public and brought into effect to question that act of Imran Khan, because according to parliamentary conventions, if a prime minister has visibly lost the majority in the House, traditionally they do not take such massive actions on their own. So that remains to be seen. One interesting aspect regarding the courts is also, which brings the authenticity of the courts into question, is that when Imran Khan's party tried to file a review petition on the court's decision, the five-judge bench decision in the evening, they were told that the time of the court was over, and that cannot happen right now. But right now,
okay,
the The courts have been up at 12 midnight. So
Can you believe it? Can you believe it, Mohit? What is happening in Pakistan right now? The Islamabad High Court is in session right now. The High Court Chief Justice, the Supreme Court Chief Justice, in fact, is in session right now. His chambers are open. Major General Gigi Dwivedi is joining us. He's a defense expert. Ambassador Deepak Vora is also joining us, former diplomat. Syed Ruman Hashmi is a foreign affairs expert. Gentlemen, what a night. I call it the night of long knives. Ambassador Deepak Vora is smiling. But what a night it's already turning out to be. My question to you, Ambassador, is here is a Prime Minister who is not reading the writing on the wall. The writing is absolutely clear. He does not have the majority. He has to quit. But he is refusing to go. He's kicking and screaming. What does the country do?
Thank you very much. Always a pleasure to be on News 18, to learn from you and from the other wonderful people. You called it the night of the long knives. As far as I'm concerned, it's the night of one dumb Prime Minister. He has lost his majority, as you very rightly said. He refuses to go. The question, sir, therefore, is why is he so reluctant to go? You might recall that a little while ago, he had also given 3 preconditions for resigning. That was a media report from Pakistan. Number 1, he won't be arrested. Number 2, he'll nominate whoever he thinks should be the next Prime Minister. And number 3, I believe he had said some other funny thing about whoever was going to be the successor, etc. Why is he worried about being arrested? Has he done something to deserve it? I don't know. But all this drama, this unnecessary distraction, if push comes to shove and he goes, he could have gone long ago. Look at the reputational damage, the economic damage, the social damage he has caused to his country. No one has ever accused Shri Niazi of being an intelligent fellow. He got into power, he became the Prime Minister and decided he was the best thing that could ever have happened to Pakistan. He was God's gift. At one time, he thought he was God's gift to all women. Now he thought he's God's gift to his own country. And then suddenly
Okay,
realizes...
Ambassador, hold on to your thoughts. I'm coming to you in just a moment. We're getting breaking news from our investigations editor, Manoj Gupta. The Prime Minister, that is Imran Khan, has sent this threat letter, quote unquote, alleged threat letter. He has sent it to the Speaker of the House, Asad Kaisar. He's also sent it to the Chief Justice of Pakistan. This breaking news coming right now here on CNN News 18, the only channel that is live beyond midnight right now. We're getting this breaking news that Imran Khan has sent this threat letter to the CJP. This is pictures from the assembly moments ago. The Speaker Asad Kaisar reaching the assembly just moments ago, and this letter, this threat letter, has been sent to the Speaker's office. It has been sent to the Chief Justice of Pakistan. The Islamabad Supreme Court is right now in session. Chief Justice has opened his chamber. He is in fact watching the proceedings that are happening in the assembly, and the Prime Minister is saying there is this threat letter. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, this entire conspiracy theory that has been based on a cable that was sent by the former US ambassador, the Pakistan ambassador in the United States, a cable that was sent to the Foreign Office. Look at these pictures. Prime Minister Imran Khan has sent the threat letter to the Speaker's office and to the Chief Justice. And ladies and gentlemen, this is unbelievable. Like I said, this is the night of long knives that is happening in Pakistan right now. The Prime Minister has sent the quote-unquote alleged threat letter to the Speaker's office and to the Chief Justice. We don't know if the Speaker will use this letter, whether he will read from this letter, whether he will use this letter as an excuse to dissolve the House, to dissolve the proceedings that are happening in the House right now. I want to go across to Major General Gigi Dwivedi, who's joining us as well. This is unbelievable. The Prime Minister knows that he doesn't have the numbers on his side, General Dwivedi. He is refusing to quit. He is refusing to read the writing on the wall. General Dwivedi, what are your thoughts on what is going on in Islamabad right now? These are unbelievable scenes, General.
Well, I think there's one term that is being used extensively these days in the corporate arena, and that is VUCA. That is volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. So that's exactly that is going on in Pakistan. The situation is volatile, very uncertain, complex, and of course ambiguous. But I'll just give you 2-3 very important issues. First and foremost, it's all about how Imran Khan is playing the last over or the last ball. I think the last ball has already been bowled. Now he is sitting on the pitch, refusing to go, not willing to pad up. It's like a spoiled child who doesn't want to give way. Now that is one that is going on. Secondly, at this juncture, number of options are available. Firstly, if Speaker does not comply with the order of the Supreme Court, then it becomes the contempt of the court.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I want to bring our viewers up to speed with what that contempt is. Section 190 of the Supreme Court, the action in aid of the Supreme Court. And I'm reading that all executive and judicial authorities throughout Pakistan shall act in the aid of the Supreme Court. The Prime Minister, that is Mr. Imran Khan, is not acting right now as per the aid and advice and the judgment that has been laid out by the Supreme Court of Pakistan. So it is very likely that the Supreme Court, there you go, Section 190, action in aid of the Supreme Court, that all executive and judicial authorities will, throughout Pakistan, shall act in aid of the Supreme Court of Pakistan. Right now, there is one gentleman in Pakistan who is not acting as per the aid and advice of the Supreme Court. Remember, the Supreme Court had quashed 2 days ago. They had quashed every action that was taken by Imran Khan and his flunkies. The action of the Deputy Speaker, null and void, unconstitutional. The action of the Prime Minister to dissolve the House, null and void. The action of the President to dissolve the House, again, unconstitutional, null and void. And now the Supreme Court will be using Section 190, action for contempt against the Prime Minister of Pakistan. These are unbelievable, unbelievable scenes, ladies and gentlemen. We're getting more breaking news as per Manoj Gupta, our investigations editor, that these are unconfirmed reports that the Speaker, Asad Kaisar, and the Deputy Speaker, Mr. Suri, could likely resign. Can you believe it? Can you believe it, ladies and gentlemen? These are media reports in Pakistan right now that the Speaker, Asad Kaisar, the man who is responsible for holding that trust vote, he has one job to do, and that is to hold the trust vote. He could resign. His deputy, Mr. Suri, the one who gave that infamous ruling last Sunday, declaring the NCM null and void, the NCM that the Supreme Court restored, that Deputy Speaker, Mr. Suri, could also resign. These are unbelievable. What happens if the Speaker and the Deputy Speaker resign? There will have to be an election to choose a new Speaker. Who may that new Speaker be? And in that election, if the ruling party does not have the numbers, does that automatically become an assessment of the strength of the House and the mood of the House, as it were? There is more trouble for the Pakistan Prime Minister Imran Khan ahead of the trust vote. The Speaker, Asad Kaisar, and the Deputy Speaker, Mr. Suri, both of them could resign right now. What happens? Kamar Chima is joining us on this late broadcast live from Washington. Kamar Chima, if the Speaker and the Deputy Speaker resign, what happens? It's chaos.
This is the highest level constitutional crisis in a country. And
live from Washington, Kamar Chima, if the Speaker and the Deputy Speaker resign, what happens?
Obviously, the Chief Justice of Pakistan was supposed to fire the Speaker National Assembly under the contempt of the court, and so for the Deputy Speaker. So I think Prime Minister Imran Khan really wanted to create a constitutional crisis, and he's disobeying the Speaker, he's disobeying the Supreme Court, he's disobeying the courts, and he says that I will fight till the last ball. So the last ball is that he wants to create, he's into the civilian coup in the country, but at the end of the day, if not today, by tomorrow, he will have to uphold the Constitution.
Okay, Kamar Chima, we're getting breaking news. Both the Speaker and the Deputy Speaker have resigned. Mr. Asad Kaisar, the Speaker of the House, has resigned. The Deputy Speaker, Mr. Suri, has also resigned. These are unbelievable scenes that are happening in Islamabad right now, ladies and gentlemen. Can you believe it? The Speaker, who was given the responsibility by the Supreme Court to conduct the trust motion, he has resigned. His deputy, the man who gave that contentious ruling, that illegal ruling, that unconstitutional ruling of the NCM being rejected last Sunday, he too has resigned. So both the Speaker and the Deputy Speaker have resigned. Can you believe it, ladies and gentlemen? Like I said, the Speaker had one job to do. He was mandated by the Supreme Court to hold the trust vote, and he has resigned. These are unbelievable scenes. I want to go back to our guests. We're getting live pictures from what is happening inside the Assembly right now. I also want to ask Moed Jaffrey, who's joining us. Moed, now what happens? Do they have to have an election to choose a new Speaker? What happens to the no confidence motion? Does it expire? Because these are unbelievable scenes. I mean, it is not just Imran Khan. His entire party is going down like a bunch of illegal thugs. The action taken by the Speaker has to be unconstitutional now. His job was to hold the trust vote. He has resigned after stalling for a good 12 hours. Moed Jaffrey.
Well, basically, it's more than just contempt that they face. Let's be clear about the fact that contempt came into play after the Supreme Court's suo motu action. Before that, the problem, the issue into play was abrogation of the Constitution. So the Speaker and the Deputy Speaker, now that they've resigned, there has to be an election, or the Secretary of the Assembly needs to be, I'm not entirely sure about where does this go. This is all alien territory for Pakistan, Pakistani journalists, and everybody here. But the bigger question here is that the Speaker and the Deputy Speaker do not only face a contempt of court, they also now face the Article 6, that is high treason, which is punishable by death penalty for abrogating the Constitution, and not just once.
Okay, we're getting live pictures. Moed, hang on a second. We're getting live pictures from the National Assembly. Speaker Asad Kaisar informing and briefing the members of the House that this is going to be his last session. Let's listen in. Let's listen in to the Speaker, the man of the moment right now in Pakistan.
मैं आज ये फैसला करता हूं और मैंने फैसला किया है कि मैं स्पीकर के ओहदे पे मजीद नहीं रह सकता और मैं अपने ओहदे से इस्तीफा देता हूं। मैंने अपनी जिंदगी का बहुत लंबा अरसा अपने लीडर इमरान खान के साथ गुजारा। 26 साल से मैं उसके साथ रहा। मैं स्टूडेंट लाइफ से, जब मैं स्टूडेंट था उस वक्त मैंने तहरीक इंसाफ ज्वाइन की और उस वक्त जब मैं शौकत खानम कैंपेन चली थी मैं उस वक्त उसके साथ था। मैं चूंकि इस वक्त एक कौमी फरीज़ा है और सुप्रीम कोर्ट का एक फैसला है, इसको मनोअन तस्लीम करते हुए उसकी जो प्रोसीजर है उसको आगे बढ़ाते हुए मैं जो पैनल ऑफ चेयरमैन हैं आया सादिक साहब, वो बाकी इजलास वो चलाएगा और जो इसकी लीगल वो उसके मुताबिक करेगा। लेकिन मैं एक बात बिल्कुल अहम इस वक्त ये बात मैं बिल्कुल वाज़ेह करना चाहता हूँ। सबसे पहले हमारे लिए मुल्क है, पाकिस्तान है। हमने अपने मुल्क का सोचना है, अपने पाकिस्तान का सोचना है और यहाँ इस वक्त जो खान साहब ने जो स्टैंड लिया हुआ है वो इस मुल्क की खुददारी और इस मुल्क की ज़रूरत है कि हम आप एक आज़ाद कौम की हैसियत से अपने आप को खड़ा कर सके, एक आज़ादी और खुददार पाकिस्तानी की हैसियत से हम अपनी ज़िंदगी का। मैं आया सादिक साहब से रिक्वेस्ट करूँगा कि वो आएँ और बाकी जो लीगल प्रोसीजर है वो पूरा करें।
Pakistan National Assembly Speaker Asad Kaisar has resigned. His deputy, Mr. Suri, has resigned. These are unbelievable scenes that you're seeing right now in the National Assembly of Pakistan. There is chaos inside the National Assembly. There is chaos outside the National Assembly as Imran Khan now walks in to the House. The Speaker is handing over the baton to another senior member of the House whose job it is now to conduct this vote. The Speaker saying that this is going to be his last session. He is resigning. He says he was associated with the Tehreek-e-Insaf since his student days, since his college days, and now a new member of the National Assembly will oversee the trust vote. Unbelievable scenes these are. I want to go back to our guests. Keep these pictures live on the screen. I request my producers, keep these pictures. These are unbelievable scenes that you're seeing in the National Assembly of Pakistan. The one job that the Speaker had was to conduct the no confidence motion, get the sense of the House, go for the vote. He has refused to do that. Right now, look at these dramatic scenes. This is minutes after midnight right now here in India, minutes after 11:30 in the night in Pakistan. Absolute chaos happening in the Pakistan National Assembly right now. You can see members of the National Assembly walking out. They are walking out of the National Assembly because they don't believe that the vote is going to be impartial anymore. The Speaker, Asad Kaisar, has refused to take that vote. He has just stepped down, ladies and gentlemen. He has resigned just moments ago. A new member of the National Assembly is now taking the vote. Let's listen in to what is going on right now. These dramatic scenes inside the National Assembly. Let's listen in.
बड़ी ऑनरेबल एग्जिट की और उनका हम सब के साथ एक बहुत अच्छा रिलेशनशिप रहा, वर्किंग रिलेशनशिप रही, ऊंच नीच भी रही, मगर उन्होंने बड़े डिग्निटी से ये सारे प्रोसीडिंग्स कंडक्ट करने की कोशिश की और ऑपोजिशन को साथ लेके।
This is Ayaz Sadiq. He's a member of the opposition. He's now taken over the proceedings of the House. He has now taken over as the acting Speaker of the National Assembly. These are unbelievable scenes. Let's listen in once again to the NAT that is happening in the Assembly right now.
Voting on the resolution moved by Mia Mohammad Shahbaz Sharif, leader of the opposition, on 28 March 2020. For information of honorable members, I read out the procedure of voting on the resolution for a vote of no confidence against the Prime Minister as set out in the second schedule of the Rules of Procedure and Conduct of Business in the National Assembly 2007. Before voting commences, I shall direct that the bells be rung for 5 minutes to enable members not present in the chambers to be present there. Immediately after the bells stop ringing, all the entrances to the lobbies shall be locked, and Assembly staff posted at each entrance shall not allow any entry or exit through those entrances until the voting has concluded. I shall then read out the resolution before the Assembly and ask the members who wish to vote in favor of the resolution to pass in single file through the entrance where tellers shall be posted to record the votes. On reaching the desk of the tellers, each member shall in turn call out the division number allotted to him under the rules, him or her under the rules. The teller shall then mark off the number on the division list, simultaneously calling out names of the member. In order to ensure that his vote...
This is Ayaz Sadiq reading out the rules of the no-confidence motion. This is a delayed feed, ladies and gentlemen. We have got word from our investigations editor, Manoj Gupta, that Imran Khan has lost the vote of no confidence, ladies and gentlemen. Pakistan Prime Minister Imran Khan has lost the no confidence motion. He has lost the trust vote inside the Assembly right now, and it has happened just minutes before midnight. Remember, the no confidence motion had to be executed, had to be voted upon before midnight, and that has happened right now. The no trust vote has gone against Imran Khan. Imran Khan has lost his majority, and therefore he ceases to be the Prime Minister of Pakistan from this moment on. Pakistan Prime Minister Imran Khan has lost the no confidence motion that has been moved by the opposition in the Pakistan National Assembly. Mr. Imran Khan becomes the first Prime Minister in the history of Pakistan in the last 75 years to be voted out of office by losing a trust vote. No Prime Minister has completed a 5-year term, and that record continues with Mr. Imran Khan as well. He has now just been voted out of office by a no confidence motion brought forth by the opposition. That no confidence motion is successful. Imran Khan no longer is the Prime Minister of Pakistan. What unbelievable scenes. The Speaker resigning before the trust vote, just moments before the trust vote. A new custodian of the House taking charge in Ayaz Sadiq. Ayaz Sadiq accepting the NCM moved by Shahbaz Sharif. And the vote has happened. And this is the big breaking news that is happening right now, ladies and gentlemen. Pakistan Prime Minister Imran Khan has lost the no confidence motion. He has lost the trust vote. He ceases to be the Prime Minister of Pakistan from this moment on. I've got my guests. General Dwivedi is there with me. Ambassador Vora is with me. Dr. Qamar Cheema is joining us, strategic analyst. Qamar Cheema, what unbelievable scenes. Prime Minister Imran Khan becomes the first in the sitting history of Pakistan to lose a trust vote on the floor of the National Assembly. These are unbelievable scenes. Your first thoughts, Mr. Cheema?
Well, obviously, these are unbelievable scenes, but I think that is that I believe that somehow the Constitution of Pakistan is being upheld. The Supreme Court of the Pakistan has forced the Imran Khan to obey the Constitution. And I think this is what is important for Pakistan, to obey the Constitution. And unfortunately, the dramatic scenes which Prime Minister Imran Khan has created, the way they have disobeyed the Constitution, they created anarchy, they created disorder in the country, they created lawlessness in the country. This is, they will not be forgiven for all that law and order they have created, because all they believe is that if they will not be in power, they cannot, the country must not run. And I think this is what we call as the democracy is the best revenge, which the former Prime Minister Benazir Bhutto used to say, that democracy is the best revenge. And Prime Minister Imran Khan, who was playing to the gallery, since this no confidence motion came, he was playing to the gallery to win over masses as if there is a foreign conspiracy against him. There is a foreign conspiracy, and remember, the cables that came, they didn't come from an American diplomat. These were the notes which were taken by a Pakistani diplomat while having a conversation and a lunch with the American diplomat. So they do not tell that whether the Americans did what the Pakistani diplomat says. So the many believe that the letter was managed by the government. So in reality, what is happening right now, as you know, that the Supreme Court of Pakistan opened its door at 12 a.m. The Islamabad High Court opened its door at 10 p.m. So at every cost, they wanted to uphold the Constitution. And remember, the most important role played by the Pakistani military. They were looking everything from like a bystander. They didn't want to disturb any organ of the country. They let the parliament do the work. They let the judiciary do the work. And I think today is the
These are unbelievable scenes, Dr. Cheema. What you're witnessing right now in your country, and you're watching this from far away in Washington. But what a moment this is in Pakistan history. Syed Ruman Hashmi, foreign affairs expert, also joining us. Imran Khan, ladies and gentlemen, just to remind you once again, if you're tuning in to this late hour, we're 25 minutes past midnight here in India. Imran Khan is no longer the Prime Minister of Pakistan. He has been defeated, ladies and gentlemen. These are scenes, exclusive scenes from the National Assembly of Pakistan playing out here on CNN News 18. Imran Khan has lost the confidence of the House. He has lost the trust vote. The no confidence motion is successful. Imran Khan becomes the first Prime Minister in the history of Pakistan to be defeated on the floor of the National Assembly, to be removed from office, because he has lost the confidence of the House. He has lost the confidence of the Pakistani Parliament. What an unbelievable scene this is. This is happening right now. Just minutes ago, these are the scenes that have played out from the Pakistan Assembly. Now the question is, who becomes the new leader of the House? Let me go back to our guests. General Dwivedi is with us. Ambassador Vora is with us. Syed Ruman Hashmi is with us. Syed Ruman Hashmi, these are unbelievable scenes that are happening in Pakistan right now. Imran Khan losing the trust vote, the first ever Pakistani Prime Minister to lose on the floor of the Assembly. Your first thoughts, sir? Syed Ruman Hashmi, if you can hear me. Let me go to Moed Jafri. Can you hear me, Moed Jafri? Unbelievable scenes. Yes, unbelievable scenes. Imran Khan losing the no confidence motion, becoming the first Prime Minister to have to resign in ignominy, in disgrace. He could have gone a week ago. He knew the numbers are not with him. Why this drama? Why drag it out till the 11th hour?
Well, but the way he has played it out, the script is pretty clear. And I think it makes for a really good political narrative going into an election year, where he would now claim that nobody from his government, not the speaker, not the deputy speaker, not him, none of them were a part of this no confidence motion, which was basically engineered by a foreign force, Washington, to change the regime in Pakistan because Imran Khan stood up for the integrity of the country. So that is the narrative that comes out of it. He would say that the opposition's own speaker initiated this, and we will see the one party calling the other traitor narrative in the coming elections.
But who is going to believe him, Moed? Who is going to believe Imran Khan? His own speaker, Mr. Kaisar, was forced to step down. Mr. Kaisar had one job to do, and that was to hold the trust vote. Mr. Kaisar refused to hold the trust vote. Mr. Kaisar has done something as unconstitutional as the deputy speaker did. This gentleman, Ayaz Sadiq, from the opposition, is now the custodian of the House. He is doing the job which Mr. Asad Kaisar was supposed to do. Let me go back to Syed Ruman Hashmi. Syed Ruman Hashmi, Imran Khan always knew that he doesn't have the numbers on his side. Why was he playing this drama out? What is he playing this drama out for? Why not spare the people of Pakistan of these theatrics? Who is going to believe him? What is this nonsense that he's pulling off in the name of a foreign conspiracy? Syed Ruman Hashmi.
Absolutely right. It would have been very graceful for the Imran Khan if he had taken the decision earlier and to face the no confidence motion in a graceful way and accept the defeat and go after 1.5 years. Just if you are so much confident that you are a public leader, all are other, they allege they are traitors, all their other political party leaders, they are traitors, then let the people decide after 1.5 years. It is 1.5 years nothing. If you have not shown, anything from, the recession, the value of Pakistani rupees has gone down, unemployment and everything, even the international relation, you have spoiled the relation with your whole allies, America. Then after 1.5 years, if you are so much popular, then let the people decide.
Okay, Mr. Syed Ruman Hashmi, give me a moment because we're getting more breaking news. Shahbaz Sharif, the former Chief Minister of Punjab province in Pakistan, the brother of former Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif, Shahbaz Sharif, is likely to be the next Prime Minister of Pakistan. The House has been adjourned till Sunday, that's tomorrow. Shahbaz Sharif is the front runner to be the next Pakistan Prime Minister. The opposition will now have to move a motion tomorrow on Sunday when the National Assembly reconvenes, and Shahbaz Sharif is likely to be the next Prime Minister of Pakistan. What a moment this is for the Sharif family. His brother had to face the ignominy, had to face the disgrace of being convicted by a court of law in Pakistan, had to flee Pakistan on corruption charges, has been living in London in exile for the last 4 years. And now his younger brother, Shahbaz Sharif, the former Chief Minister of Punjab province, the brother of Nawaz Sharif, is likely to be the next Prime Minister of Pakistan. What unbelievable scenes that are happening in Islamabad right now. Imran Khan, the Captain as they call him, the man who won Pakistan's only World Cup, has gone down in an absolutely disgraceful fashion, refusing to read the writing on the wall, indulging in unconstitutional, illegal and unparliamentary practices. His Foreign Minister Shah Mahmood Qureshi tried to filibuster. His Speaker, Mr. Asad Kaisar, tried to filibuster. Ultimately, nothing could stop the will of the people. Nothing could stop the directions of the Supreme Court of Pakistan. And ultimately, Mr. Imran Khan becomes the first Prime Minister in the history of Pakistan to be voted out of office, to lose a no-confidence motion on the floor of the National Assembly. And Shahbaz Sharif, ladies and gentlemen, this man, the younger brother of former Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif, the former Chief Minister, 3-term Chief Minister of Punjab, the biggest and politically most important province in Pakistan, he will be the next Prime Minister of Pakistan. What unbelievable scenes. I want to go back to our guests. Ambassador Vora is with us. General Dwivedi is with us. This is almost like a revenge of the establishment, Ambassador Vora. Shahbaz Sharif, we all know him. He's got a great governance record. The younger brother of the former Prime Minister. He's now going to be the Prime Minister. These are unbelievable scenes. I can't quite wrap my head around what's going on in Pakistan right now, Ambassador Vora.
Many years ago, my son who lives in New York had sent me a T-shirt. It had the logo BAIK. I asked him what it was. He said, it stands for boy, am I confused? I said, well, K is not for confused. He says, you don't know how confused I am. Now, this is happening here today. And I find this absolutely, as you have so rightly put it, hilarious. I've seen this once before in my life with everybody resigning. This was in Vietnam when the North Vietnamese had entered the southern part of the country and gone to the presidential palace in Saigon. It's now called Ho Chi Minh City. The president then was a fellow called Duong Van Minh. I knew him well, Big Min. And he said, I'm resigning. So he looked around and says, anybody here to accept my resignation? There was nobody around because everybody had resigned and gone home. So he pasted his resignation on the floor, on the door of the parliament, and he went away. And this kind of stuff we are seeing in Pakistan, it's become the laughing stock of the world. People are getting their thrills seeing what is happening. And sir, if I may put it very bluntly, this man had to go, he knew. Had he gone then, he would have gone gracefully. But grace is not one of his attributes. He will go, there's no question. The people of Pakistan are suffering. The reputation of Pakistan has been tattered both nationally and internationally. I don't know what is in his mind. It's obstinacy, obduracy, it's arrogance, it's narcissism, thinking that somehow he can pull a rat out of his hat. It's not working. He just has to go. The quicker he does it, the better for the people of Pakistan, sir.
All right, General Dwivedi is also there with us. What unbelievable scenes are happening in Pakistan right now? We have seen crazy scenes. Back in 1999, I remember General Musharraf carrying out a coup, even as the Prime Minister was 30,000 feet up in the air. But these scenes that we have seen, General Dwivedi, over the last few days, it is incomparable to anything that Pakistan or any other country in the subcontinent has gone through. Just walk us through your thoughts right now. Imran Khan is no longer the Prime Minister of Pakistan. He has to face the disgrace of being the first Prime Minister in office who has been voted out because of a no-confidence motion. Shahbaz Sharif is likely to be the next Prime Minister. What are the implications for that country? What are the implications for the wider subcontinent?
Well, Vaga, definitely it has been a very, very dramatic week in the history of Pakistan, and to be recorded so. And I'm sure the posterity will look at it as a very turbulent week that Pakistan had in its history. But I'd like to share my thoughts as you rightly asked for. First and foremost, it was a delusion of one person, that is Imran Khan, which made this whole situation so very dramatic, so very ambiguous and very complex. Secondly, I think there were two ends of the spectrum. One was the PTI and Imran Khan, who pushed the Pakistani constitution and all the principles down into dustbin, and on the other side stood up the Pakistan Supreme Court, and they held the institution and also held the democratic system with very high degree of credibility. And at the end of it, I think Pakistan democratic system has won, and it definitely comes as a great relief to average Pakistan citizen. Now here on, what will happen? Well, I think now the slate is quite clean, and the charted path that one can make out, Shahbaz Sharif will now take on the reins till the next election are held. And I think there will be certain amount of instability, definitely, because there are a number of parties which have no common agenda, but they have to govern Pakistan. So we'll continue to see certain amount of stability. And my last word is Pakistan Army. Well, they said they're neutral, but definitely they held the trump card. They had certain amount of role to play. That should the things flip out, then they will step in. But that would be the last resort. I think Pakistan military has played out very sensibly in a very calibrated manner. They stood behind, but let the civil polity play it out. And I think at the end of the day, it's Pakistan victory for the democratic system, for the average Pakistani. And I wish the country good luck as to how the situation folds out in time to come.
Okay. All right. It indeed is the victory of the people of Pakistan. A prime minister who has lost his majority was forced to step down at the 11th hour in these crazy dramatic scenes that we are seeing from the Pakistan Assembly. Let me go back to Moed Jafri. Moed, what is the latest? I believe that Ayaz Sadiq, who is the new custodian of the House, had just adjourned the House till Sunday, but apparently we're now given to understand that it's been reconvened. Kamar Chima is there with us as well. Kamar Chima, what is the next procedure? Imran Khan has lost the trust vote. How does the next Prime Minister get installed in office?
Well, I think the same session will continue because as per the instructions of the Pakistani Supreme Court, this session is to happen because this was a no confidence motion against him. So and remember, Mr. Ayaz Sadiq was a Speaker of the National Assembly for the last 5 years of Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif. So understand how to run the business of the National Assembly. And now, since you are saying that the recitation of the Holy Quran and Naat is being recited, so after that, the session will start where obviously the motion will be read and there will be voted. He will be voted out, and then there will be an election for a new Prime Minister, and Mr. Shahbaz Sharif will likely be voted in as the Prime Minister of the country. And then I think maybe tomorrow or day after tomorrow, maybe primarily tomorrow evening, he will take an oath of the Prime Minister of the country.
He definitely will be taking the oath as the Prime Minister of the country tomorrow. Syed Ruman Hashmi is also joining us. Syed Ruman Hashmi, what is the procedure now? Imran Khan has lost the vote. We know that the counting of the vote, the official counting, will happen after the prayers. And tomorrow, what happens? Shahbaz Sharif formally meets the president, stakes claim to be the next Prime Minister, and then proves his majority on the floor of the House. How does it work?
Of course, since already all the oppositions are united, and Shahbaz Sharif will become, of course, the Prime Minister because the majority is with him. Imran Khan should have given the walkover to the opposition rather to indulge into such type of practice which led to literally sabotage to the Pakistani political system and the administrative institutions. So by letting down this, he exit from the political corridor of the Pakistan, he saved the democratic institution, the administrative institution. But when, as we got to know, I was talking with someone overseas, told me that Army 111 Brigadier of Pakistani Army Battalion was deployed in alert mode in Islamabad to tackle the situation in some untoward incident or in such emergency situations. As they also said that many government officials, they were told to ensure that they don't leave the country. So in this situation, it is very embarrassing. Even the follower of the, I was talking with some people who were there, even they were a supporter of the Imran Khan, but they told me that at this juncture, now Imran Khan should step down and accept the defeat and wait for the 1.5 years so that let the people decide when it will go. See, Imran Khan says that the Washington cable, it was a conspiracy applied to topple his government by the American administration, American government, and for the proof, he was as I heard that I heard that cable, Washington cable, was shown to Chief Justice of Pakistan a few while ago. Listen, if it is true, then let the Sharif take over the power and see if Joe Biden, if he talks with him or not. Because democratic government in America, it has been around 1.5 years literally, and Biden didn't talk with Imran Khan even on the phone.
Okay. Just give me a moment, Mr. Rumi, because we're getting more breaking news. Imran Khan and his staff have vacated the Prime Minister's chamber. They have left the House. They have left the National Assembly. They have vacated the chamber. Fawad Chaudhry, who used to be Information Minister in the Pakistan government under Imran Khan, has just tweeted saying, "It's a sad day for Pakistan. The return of the looters has sent a good man home." That is what Fawad Chaudhry has said. The Prime Minister's house is being vacated as well. His chambers inside the National Assembly building is being vacated as well. Imran Khan is no longer, ladies and gentlemen, the Prime Minister of Pakistan. He becomes the first Prime Minister in the history of Pakistan to lose a sitting no confidence motion that was brought forth by the opposition. We don't know the exact numbers yet, but the fact is he has lost that vote. The numbers were always stacked up against him. He knew that the numbers were stacked up against him. What he has done over the last 1 week was simply illegal, unconstitutional, and theatrics to play to the gallery, because he's hoping that when the elections happen, and elections will have to happen before 2023 October, he is hoping that the people of Pakistan will once again side with him. Will they? After these dramatic scenes over the last 1 week, after the Supreme Court, no less, has had to step in and save democracy in Pakistan, will the people continue to stand with Imran Khan? I'm not so sure. But Fawad Chaudhry has tweeted moments ago that the looters have sent a good man home. The return of looters in Pakistan. That's how he has characterized what has been happening in Pakistan over the last few hours. Imran Khan is now history, ladies and gentlemen. He has lost his majority in parliament. He is no longer the Prime Minister of Pakistan. He is going home. His chambers have been cleared. Let me go back to our guests, Ambassador Vora, General Dwivedi, Mr. Rushmi, and Mr. Kamar Chima. Mr. Kamar Chima, this is unbelievable. I mean, Pakistan's history with democracy has been rather tenuous, but now the Supreme Court literally saving democracy in Pakistan.
Well, I think these are the beautiful moments, I believe, because at this midnight, what you believe, at this midnight, the national anthem is being played in the parliament, in the National Assembly. And I think the civilian supremacy has been upheld. The constitution have been protected. The Supreme Court of Pakistan, which is a guarantor for the protection of the constitution, for the interpretation of the constitution, they have upheld the constitution. And I think the sportsman spirit that has come from the opposition parties who are facing this moment since last 12 years. And remember, the Pakistani armed forces have always helped. They have helped the political parties now to take your matters and decide your own matters, and they are not going to interfere into the parliamentary affairs. And I think Prime Minister Imran Khan should have shown the sportsman spirit. He always said that I will fight till the last ball, but he didn't fight till the last ball. He just left the Prime Minister house this way. He just asked his parliamentarians to leave the parliament this way. This was not a sportsman spirit. The sportsman spirit is to stand in the National Assembly, to be there, to contest it, rather playing conspiracies all day and creating uncertainty in the country. So remember, in the last 12 hours or 14 hours, there were uncertainty. It was all lawlessness. It was all what we can say, something which was creating a chaos and anarchy in the country. And he keeps telling us the lessons of the constitution, morality, the democracy in the Westminster system. He keeps telling us the Western political system. But when it came on him to practice all those, he couldn't practice, unfortunately. And today, we are so much happy that this National Assembly should complete its 5 years. The importance is the National Assembly to complete the 5 years. This is the chain of the command is going to be in the hand of the opposition because they have more numbers. Prime Minister Imran Khan failed to engage with his own parliamentarians. Prime Minister Imran Khan failed to show the sportsman spirit or failed to show political magnanimity to engage his own
More breaking
people,
news, Mr. Chima, just give me a moment. Muhammad Azam, who is an officer of the Pakistani Administrative Service, secretary to the Prime Minister Imran Khan, has been transferred and directed to report to the Establishment Division with immediate effect and until further orders. So the private secretary to the Prime Minister, Mr. Muhammad Azim, has also been transferred now, so which means Imran Khan is leaving the chambers in the Parliament building. His office staff have been transferred as well. It is game over for Imran Khan. He no longer enjoys the confidence of the House. He no longer is the Prime Minister of Pakistan. How things have come to such a pass. Like I said, the final nail in the coffin was the Speaker and the Deputy Speaker resigning. They knew that the numbers were not on their side. They had one job to do, and that was to hold the trust vote, to carry out the no confidence motion, to have a vote on the floor of the National Assembly. They refused to do that. Mr. Asad Kaisar, just moments before the NCM was voted upon, resigned. Will it bring in contempt charges? It absolutely will. But Imran Khan's personal secretary has also been transferred. Muhammad Azam is the officer's name. He's a Pakistan Administrative Service officer. He has been transferred out of the Prime Minister's office and has been asked to report to the headquarters, has been asked to report to the establishment division until further orders. Let me go back to Ambassador Vora, to General Dwivedi, Mr. Rushmi, and of course Kamar Chima, who's still with us. Ambassador Vora, as I come to you, these are unbelievable scenes that are happening in Pakistan right now. What may be, though, the priorities of the new government, assuming that the new government will take over tomorrow under the Prime Ministership of Mr. Shahbaz Sharif? What may their priorities be, Ambassador Vora?
One of the French thinkers, I think Alphonse of the 19th century, had said very famously, "Plus ça change, plus c'est le même." The more it changes, the more it is the same. You're going to see no major change in internal or external policies as far as Pakistan is concerned. The one thing that reassures me, had this gentleman, this former cricket player who claims to be the Prime Minister, who claimed to be the Prime Minister, had he gotten away with the ploy that he used with the constitutional rules of getting the Deputy Speaker to throw out the motion of no confidence and then asking the President to call for fresh elections, had he gotten away with that, sir, the future, the constitutional future of Pakistan would have been very dim, because hereafter, any president, prime minister, elect who had been in office even for 3 hours and realized that he was going to be booted out, would have told the speaker, throw out the motion, go to the president and say, let's go back to the people again. So the Supreme Court of Pakistan, which is amazingly active and very independent, has, at least to this extent, prevented the constitution from becoming a joke. And this particular clause of a fellow refusing to resign, asking them to throw out the vote, etc., the motion of no confidence, this has been buried forever. A major plus for the people of Pakistan and for the constitution of Pakistan.
It absolutely is a major plus. Let me go back to General Dwivedi. The Supreme Court having to step in at the 11th hour, declaring the actions of the previous Deputy Speaker as unconstitutional, forcing Imran Khan to take that trust vote and him losing that trust vote, thereby becoming the first Prime Minister to lose the vote of no confidence. It can only be a good thing for democracy in Pakistan, but I'm not sure whatever new government comes in, and I agree with Ambassador Vora, whatever new government comes in, I don't think there will be too much radical change, particularly in relations with India. Your thoughts, General Dwivedi?
Well, absolutely. Well, I think that the moment belongs to the Supreme Court. They stand very tall and they held the democratic system very firmly, and that's to the credit of Supreme Court and, of course, to the people of Pakistan. Well, as to what the future holds, absolutely right you are. Because the Pakistan foreign policy, their security policy is controlled by the army. And army, there's no change in their neither strategic thought or the vision. And India remains their adversary, their number one existential threat. And to that extent, I see no change. And also economically, currently, the Pakistan army has a great stake in the Pakistan economy. And even I don't think much of leeway will be left with the political establishment. But nonetheless, as democratic system, I think the new political dispensation will work till the next elections are there. Certain amount of political stability will be there. But as far as the larger direction of the nation as Pakistan, I don't see any tangible change. And how the army will play out, because General Bajwa has a stake. He still has 2 more years to go. He will like to take the extension, and he still will call the shots. And that's what we'll have to see. How now the army manipulates the new government, and what is the equation between the new government and the army. That will have a great impact on the internal dynamics of Pakistan. But as far as external dynamics are concerned, Pakistan-China bonhomie will continue, and I look at this very closely, having been in China for
I want to go across to Kamar Chima. Syed Rahman Hashmi is also watching this broadcast. These are unbelievable scenes. Kamar Chima, what may be the first priority of the new government? There's going to be an opposition government, and it's likely going to be headed by Shahbaz Sharif. He's going to be the new Prime Minister in all likelihood. But what is going to be the priority for him? He has at least another year and a half almost in office.
Well, I think the topmost priority for the new government, since this is a joint opposition, is going to be that they're going to go for some reforms in the legislation related to the elections. which is very important for the next elections. But at the same time, the most important job for the new joint opposition is to look after the economy, because the foreign exchange reserves are dwindling with every passing day. The dollar and the rupee ratio has decreased a lot. And over the period of time, the uncertainty that has taken over the markets in the country, they need to heal all that. But I think all these people, they have served the nation before. And let me tell you, there is going to be stability in the country. And other than that, there is a likely possibility the new government may not complete its full tenure. They may call for the next elections in few months, because I think there is some sort of an understanding among the opposition parties that when they will go for necessary institutional reforms or institutional reforms which will come in the shape of election reforms, they may call the next election so they can come with a fresh mandate.
Okay, Syed Ruman Hashmi, what is going to be the priority of this new government? Also, what is the future of Imran Khan? Is he going to bide his time for the next year plus and hope that the people of Pakistan will buy this conspiracy theory, will buy this American plot, as he called it, to displace his government, and will people vote on that? What is going to be the priority, and what is the future of Imran Khan, please? Mr. Ruby.
Yeah,
Hashmi.
The new coming, the government of Sharif, main priority must be to strengthen the economy of the Pakistan and control the soaring price and inflation, which is the currency, the rupees, they are downwards, it is crumbling. So control the economy, strengthen the economy, and the control the soaring price must be the top priority of this forthcoming government. And as far as the future of the Imran Khan is concerned, see, if we look during this period for last 3, 4, 5, within 1 week, election of the local body election was held in frontier area, northwest frontier, and there it was a second phase election. First phase election, the Fazlur Rahman party, it was in leading position.
Yeah.
But after Imran Khan starting the campaign and this conspiracy theory that America is emphasizing to topple his government and manipulating all these MPs have left the PTI alliance or PTI party on the direction of the American government. This conspiracy theory somehow appeal to the general voter, where the literacy is not very high. Literacy is poor, In second phase election, PTI gained in northwest frontier in the local election from this situation.
So will PTI gain? Will they come back to power? Will Imran Khan sit in opposition for the next year and a half? I'll give the final 30 seconds to Ambassador Vora. Ambassador Vora, what is the future for Imran Khan?
He will run away, sir. He won't stay. He had already offered a conditional resignation. He had said, I will choose the new prime minister. You won't arrest me and all kinds of things. So the indications are, he knows he did this to all the chaps who went before him. He did it to that Sharif fellow who's in London. He's afraid that they will take revenge.
Okay.
This is the night of revenge. He will run, sir. He will escape.
Okay, we'll see. Let's see how this plays out in Pakistan. Ambassador Vora, General Dwivedi, and Mr. Hashmi, thank you very much. But what a story. What crazy pictures we're getting from Pakistan. But at the end of the day, the good news is that democracy is intact. The Supreme Court of Pakistan has stepped in to save democracy in that country. Imran Khan, who should have quit a long time ago because the numbers were never on his side, went out kicking and screaming. And tomorrow's headlines in the newspapers will be that Captain Imran Khan, the man who won Pakistan its only Cricket World Cup, has been forced to step down for the very first time, becomes the first ever Prime Minister in the history of Pakistan to be voted out of office, to lose a no-confidence motion on the floor of the House. How things came to such a pass, I guess that is for the 20 crore people of Pakistan to ruminate about. Thank you very much for tuning in. Good night.
The new order, political order
comes in, the situation will be quite volatile. Yes. We're getting some updates that the Chief Justice of Pakistan has now reached the Supreme Court. So as we were saying, the situation is really, really on tenterhooks. The situation is of high alarm. We don't know what is going to happen from here on. But all agencies, all institutions, all branches of government and order are really right now just waiting to see what happens in the National Assembly possibly. Because after that, all the actions will flow from there. If the vote does not happen by midnight tonight in the Pakistan Assembly, then the Supreme Court could swing into action. I'm not sure what is the order they could give. There will be, of course, contempt. There could be some arrests. Whether they, as we were earlier in the day being told, that they could pass an interim order for the army to take control. Not clear whether that happens, but all of these options could be up in front of the Supreme Court. Omar, I'm coming to you once again to kind of make sense of what is happening. Do you expect the trust vote to happen in the next 1 hour? Pakistan Prime Minister Imran Khan is expected in the National Assembly in a few minutes from now. What is he going to do next really is anybody's guess even as we speak. Omar Altaf, senior Pakistani journalist, Vishnu Prakash, former diplomat, Lieutenant Colonel Atul Holkar, defense expert, and Tariq Farhadi, senior journalist from Geneva, all joining us on the show. Vishnu Prakash, I'm coming to you right now. This situation is still playing out. We actually cannot confidently say what is going to happen next. All institutions seem to be on high alert. Islamabad seems to be on high alert, even as we expect Imran Khan to come. Now, of course, all of us have been talking about what Imran Khan should do, but we don't know what he will do. And if the last update was anything to go by, he's saying he's going to fight till the end, till the very last minute. What does that mean, you think?
I think I'm sticking my neck out here, but I think that the time for Mr. Imran Khan is up. It's only the world knows, everybody knows, only he does not know. And that is very much in keeping with his bluster and his personality. But once he is demits office or is removed from office, things may happen in a fashion that he may be quite surprised. If Pakistani history is to be gone by, it's quite possible. It is.
I'm Shilpa Ratnam and you're watching Star Talk. And as with every episode of ours, this one is bigger and better because we have a phenomenal Indian superstar that everybody is talking about, and also your favorite actors, directors and singers, so stay tuned. On the show today, superstar Yash divulges why he's not moving anytime soon to Bollywood or Hollywood. Team Sharma Ji Namkeen recall fond memories of the legendary Rishi Kapoor. And Grammy Award winner Falguni Shah on her big win. Brace yourselves, a storm is coming. A phenomenon called Yash is coming to theatres with KGF Chapter 2. And I sat down with a superstar to discuss exactly that, his stardom, making of the film, and of course, whether he will be moving to Bollywood or Hollywood. Listen in.
खून से लिखी हुई कहानी है, स्याही से नहीं बढ़ेगी.
Hello Yash.
Hi.
You're a criminal, you're a businessman, now you're a national issue. All your fans have been asking me for the KGF interview. The enthusiasm is infectious. How do you feel about this absolute mania you have caused?
I feel really happy, extremely happy I should say, because that is the ultimate goal of any filmmaker or an actor. That's what we work hard for, we want people to enjoy, go through that kind of an experience, get that adrenaline rush when they hit the theatres. So we're happy.
It's an absolute build-up to the madness that you're going to cause, for sure. I know your story, it is one of a long struggle and you've come to the absolute peak, but I wonder what is the biggest validation for you?
No, it's just with audience acceptance, I think. If they like it, every story will look good. Success is the biggest validation. In today's times, there are a lot of talented people. They must have worked more than me. Hard work is very cliched, as I feel. Everybody has to do it. There is no other option. But why they accept you or why they celebrate you is, it's a mystery. And I think they sense something, they like something about one person. And once they like you and once they accept you, I think everything will look good. That's it.
I feel like you're so widely accepted and they have accepted you with open arms, you know, and they defend you so fiercely as well that the first chapter has become an absolute phenomenon. Would I be right in saying that KGF Chapter 2 is the most expensive Kannada film in history?
Yeah, but most ambitious film in history. If you say that, I would like it.
The most ambitious film in history, let's put it that way.
Yeah, than the budget or where it is coming from. I think it's one of the most ambitious film of Indian film industry. Our vision was not to, you know, make just another film for money or just entertainment. It was about why can't we bring in those kind of technicalities or bring in that kind of master craftsmanship with the resources we have. And we have some extremely talented technicians, especially my director is, I can vouch for his talent and capability. He is a fantastic guy, and we have fantastic technicians like my music director or my DOP, my editors, all of them are like world class. So when we have this as a country, India, you know, we have so many talents in a lot of fields. Our people, our minds are working. So in cinema, yes, if we can do it, why not? And we tried, and it's just a reflection of that attitude.
अगर आगे बढ़ाना है तो फिर से खून ही मांगेगी.
Now, Chapter 2, can I say it's grander than Chapter 1 because there are some scenes which have just blown me away, and I have to mention one where you're coming in all bloody into the parliament. Is it? You're coming somewhere for a confrontation with Raveena, perhaps?
Keep guessing. That I will not reveal.
You're not going to reveal that one. How are the stunts going to be this time around?
Crazy. Madness, I'm telling you. The way our stunt choreographers Anbar Ibu have done, you know, they got national award last time. After that national award, they were really charged up, and you know, people want this kind of adrenal rush when you watch action sequences. I have grown up watching these kind of films. It is something which it's stylized. It's not violent or where you feel uncomfortable watching it. It's stylized. It's choreographed in such a way that, you know, even if you're hitting somebody, you'll enjoy, you'll celebrate it. But it's the drama which makes it good. And when director and the writers who have put in that kind of drama and executed well, people tali baja ke seeti maar ke, they can enjoy those action sequences.
I completely agree with the part that it's stylized, and what style, what panache in those scenes. And
we always believe that family should watch the film. So when I make any film, when I work on any film, I always keep 2-3 things in mind. One, I have to watch it with my parents, you know, comfortably. So there should not be vulgarity or any objectifying women. All those things won't be there for sure. And then when you see action also, it should look stylized, where you suggestively show it in a suggestive way, but it should be something which you enjoy. You know, you watch a lot of Hollywood action films and all. It's on that scale. So like you said, because of the KGF Chapter 1 success, people have given us that kind of success not to sit back and relax or to celebrate. I always believe whenever they give you success, it is just to tell you that we expect a lot from you. You know, you can do better. When whole of India has accepted and whole of India has given us that kind of reception, then it becomes our duty to take it to another level, and that's what we are trying to do. I think we have done pretty well this time.
Violence, violence, violence. I don't like it. I avoid. But violence likes me.
I know you don't like violence. We know you don't. I know you avoid.
Yeah.
But violence likes you. You know, do people do this? Do they keep quoting your trailer back to you all the time now?
That's good. I like it.
You know, it's just stuck in our head. And I'll tell you why. I think you have a very addictive on-screen presence.
Thank you.
Because it is a combination, and a very unique combination, of sincerity and being larger than life. How did you crack that? What is the secret?
Be yourself. You know, don't try to impress anyone. Don't try to fit in somewhere. You have to be yourself and trust in your instinct and be genuine. You know, be genuine about everything and people will sense it. If you try too hard to impress someone, they'll get to know. So I think being yourself is the biggest point, and just do your job, people will like it. If they like it, they love it. And I know that larger than life characters will have a huge impact. I'm one example, I'm one such example, because the film Dekh Dekh Ke I became a hero. You know? I wanted to become a hero just because of the actors or those guys who presented life in such a way that it looks easy. Everything looked easy, and that belief system gives you a lot of strength.
And I feel you manifested that from what I've heard about you and what you have said. You know, right from his childhood, he was dancing, he was in theatres, and he liked the attention and he wanted to become a hero. And I like the fact that every time anyone asked him what he wanted to be, he said he wanted to be a hero. Yeah. And here he is with KGF Chapter 1, becoming the first Kannada film to do the fastest 50 crores, the first Kannada film to do 100 crores, then 200 crores, then 250 crores. What benchmarks you've set, Yash? Are you your own benchmark now?
All of us are, no? So I don't think you have to compare yourself or try to compete with somebody else. It's always about how you have led your life in the previous. Okay, to be very precise, aaj se kal should be better. You know, yesterday whatever things I have done, I should better a bit today. If not, there is no growth. So it's all about that, and looking at the potential, looking at the maximum reach what we can make. If we are trying it, if we are not trying it, then it's a mistake. So yes, we will try for the best. We always feel that we have to live up to our true potential, and whatever industry we are in, we have to expand it. We want to you know, take it to the, push it to the limit, they say, no? It's always like that, yeah.
मैं तुम्हारा सब कुछ छीन लूंगी।
कह देना उनको कि मैं आ रहा हूँ अपनी KGF लेने।
You have really put Kannada films on the map, I have to say. And instead of you entering Hindi cinema, as they say, you have Raveena Tandon coming to your film, you have Sanjay Dutt coming, you have Prithvi Raj presenting the film. I know Karan Johar hosted the trailer launch. How are all these stars flocking to you, tell me?
We have to realize one thing. It's no more about me entering into some industry or trying to go somewhere thinking that is big. It is not that. It's all about what kind of film you can make and how many people are ready to watch. So things have changed in such a drastic way in this digital era. People are consuming international content, you know, be it Korean, be it Spanish, with subtitles they are watching. And why are we even thinking about entering to, you know, some other industry? Wherever you are, you can make a film for whole of country or whole of world. And these are the gentlemen who have realized that fact, and they are coming together for a bigger cause. You know, when there is something good happening, all of us come together, and I think that's the way forward. They have their strength in their particular region. So we are encashing that whole aspect of their familiarity or their knowledge about their industry in a positive way. It's not just about business, it's about reaching to more number of people. And I think that's a sensible thing to do when everybody are, people have accepted. So I don't have such thing saying I have. This I told it 3 years ago. When somebody asked me, do you want to enter Bollywood? I said, no, there is nothing called Bollywood or Sandalwood or this thing. Because if I want to come here also, I have to take care of the people who have already been watching my films and who love me, my fans. We have to, I'm here to make more number of fans, you know, to show what we are capable of. So in that case, what is the point in me living what I have and getting into another this thing? So it's about bringing people together and giving them what they want.
So can I say not maybe Hindi film industry, but what about Hollywood? Is that something you would consider?
See, why not? I'm not thinking about Hollywood as an industry. For me, Hollywood or Bollywood, any wood, it is same. You know, if you can make a content which everybody will accept or everybody will enjoy and it relates to their emotions, then why not? See, it's just that it's about language. For me, everything is same. Cinema has another language. Like the Korean series, I think it's called Squid Game, right? That reached every nook and corner. That is because of the emotions. So language is just another tool for us to communicate. So I think I don't look at it as Hollywood or this thing. If somewhere in US, if people are watching my film or if they are ready to watch, definitely I'll keep them in mind and we'll make that movies. You say that South industry is doing better in North. Even North should, North people who represent North should come and explore that market. We have a huge market there. In fact, bigger than, we all put together is bigger than the North market. So when we come together in totality, just imagine the strength of this country. We don't have to go to Hollywood. Hollywood will come to us.
घुस के मारेंगे.
Now it's time for a quick break, but come back soon because on the other side we'll be discussing the cutest film of the season starring a legend that we miss very much and a Grammy Award winner coming up, so stay tuned.
It's about India. It's about standing up to those who talk down to our motherland. Why have two faces? Why play second fiddle in local politics, geostrategy, or public welfare? Time we realize our inherent might. Take the right stand at this time on CNN News 18.